I'd never considered some of this stuff. So we're going to talk about the difference between nose breathing and mouth breathing.
Yeah, and Joe, you're not the only one that doesn't consider it. The medical doctor doesn't consider it. I was at a conference in Chicago, and we had a debate going on in a medical conference with doctors saying that it didn't matter whether you breathe it through your mouth or nose. And I said to the medical doctor, I said, what does the mouth do in terms of breathing? Nothing. Zero. If you look at the human mouth, if you take air in through your mouth, that air goes straight down your throat. You have no filtering mechanism, you have no moistening, you have no warming, you have no regulating volume, you have no harnessing nasal nitric oxide. The nose and the nasal cavity is connected very much to the brain. So it's been shown in the latter years that memory increases when you breathe through your nose versus breathing through your mouth. So, the nose is also connected to the diaphragm breathing muscle. So when we breathe, for example, through an open mouth, we tend to breathe faster in upper chest. And faster in upper chest breathing puts the body into a fight or flight response. So mouth breathers are going to be having agitation of the mind. It's known that, since March of 2017, Stanford Medical School, they identified a new structure in the brain. They first identified it in mice. And they said that this structure is spying on your breathing. And it's reporting its findings to another structure in the brain called the locus coeruleus. And if you breathe fast, this structure the locus coeruleus is relaying signals of agitation to the rest of the brain, and also more likely to wake you from sleep. So fast breathing and upper chest breathing, because of course the diaphragm breathing muscle is also connected with the emotions. Now your nose slows down breathing, and nasal breathing since 1988 has been shown to improve the pressure of oxygen in the blood by 10%. Now, not everybody breathes through their mouth all of the time, but if you were to go to a gym whenever they open again, you will see that about 90% of people will be open mouth breathing even during moderate physical exercise. Why would you do physical exercise with your mouth open? Number one is it's reducing oxygen transfer from the lungs to the blood. It's reducing carbon dioxide, and as a result, you don't get as good oxygen delivery to tissues. It's trauma to the upper airways. You're not activating the diaphragm to the same extent, and the diaphragm breathing muscle and functional movement of the diaphragm, whereby the diaphragm is allowed to move back to its resting position following during an exhalation. That generates what's called intra-abdominal pressure. That you can imagine a weightlifter, and a weightlifter is going to lift a weight. And normally when you lift a weight, you hold your breath. So they breathe in and hold their breath because as they're lifting the weight, they take a breath in, the diaphragm is moving downwards, and it's almost that the abdomen becomes like a pneumatic balloon, providing stabilization for the spine. So our diaphragm breathing muscle is very important for the support and for posture and for stabilization of the spine, and also the relationship between diaphragm breathing and functional movement. In one paper by Bradley published in 2014, 87.5% of individuals who passed the functional movement screen, I know it has its critics, but you could use any functional movement screen, but 87.5% of these individuals were classified as diaphragmatic breathers. And when you look at the relationship, over the last 10 years, there's a greater awareness that if breathing is not functional, movement is not functional. And if movement is not functional, we're at a greater risk of injury. And to tie in with that, 50% of individuals with lower back pain have dysfunctional breathing patterns, 50%. But we need that diaphragm breathing muscle, not just for respiration, but also for the function of stability and postural control.